the one common cement, like emotionally or psychologically for the three of us is actually Amita and Portugal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is where
one common thing.
Yeah.
Because we come from the Dotto Brothers School of
legacy. That is the school of education.
So that is another
That
thing
is where we
works like a
met.
cohesive force.
Yeah. From 1995, for
Yeah.
these guys it was a lot longer. 95, 94 for them, 95 to 98. Every Sunday for us was dedicated to mainly the every day.
মানে আমরা অমিত দা কচুদার বাড়িতে
বাড়িতেই বড় হয়েছি। হ্যাঁ।
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Leisure Debate. আমার সাথে আজকে আছে some 4 talented people from Easy Riders. কেমন আছো all of you?
Hi.
Let's start with a quick round of introduction with you all 4 talented people. মানে আমার গাড়িতে এত লোক একসাথে হয়নি, এই প্রথম হয়েছে। Full house. We have to tan খেয়ে গেছি যে কিভাবে ইন্ট্রোডাকশনটা করব। But first and foremost, let's start from my left, Shumit. Shumit, একটু নিজের সম্বন্ধে বলো, your background, you're full-time musician or what else you do? How do you spend time?
Okay. Hi, I'm Shumit Bhattacharya. I am actually a journalist, full-time, but Easy Riders is what feeds my soul. It keeps my soul alive.
Wow.
And I'm grateful to all these gentlemen behind me for being with me to give my vision shape to be crazy enough, because they really get nothing from this except the
Food for soul.
Yes.
But that's more important.
Yes. Of course.
যারা আর বেঁচে কি লাভ?
একদম 100%.
All right, next in line. আমি পেছন ফিরতে পারবো না বেশি।
No.
So hi, I'm Orko. I play drums for Easy Riders. আমিও part-time journalist. I've been doing this also for a while. And yeah, me and Shumit, we go back a long way. We go back to our college days actually in the mid-90s. And so this is what we've been doing since 2022 again, easy riding.
Right. Promit, you want to go next?
Hello, I'm Promit. I'm a kid in the band actually. I just joined this year and I manage some guitar duties and vocal duties for the band.
Right.
This is the coolest set of people to hang out with, first of all.
Right.
And
You don't have a choice. You have to say that.
You have to say that. You're actually in the middle.
We keep bullying him because he's the youngest.
Yeah.
So, and the biggest part is basically my musical direction goes exactly in the way Easy Riders goes. So it's never been a tough thing for me, and this comes to me naturally. So I love doing music with the band.
Fantastic. And do you do music full time or you?
Yes, I'm actually working as a music teacher
Fantastic.
at school. So yeah, music is my 24/7 thing.
Right. All right.
On to Mr. Nag Chaudhary.
So I will
Mr.
keep
Nag
this
Chaudhary.
very, very brief. Because if I start talking about my CV, it will take a while.
Yes.
No.
So-
This is not a job interview.
That's
Please.
exactly why.
I may need some severe dope there. You take it that way.
So, I also teach music, and the only student I have is Nag Chaudhary.
Acha.
For 30 years.
Oh,
I
fantastic,
know
man.
Sumit and
Deep,
Dodo
man.
for 30 years that I've been playing music.
Fantastic.
And it's great because some of the songs that Sumit has written 30 years ago, playing them now, it's the same trip, it's the same fun, the perspectives keep changing, details. So I think I was as crazy as I was, as much as these guys 30 years ago. That's why
Fantastic.
writing it easy.
I think you're slightly more crazy now.
I think so.
Does it help?
Yeah, of
With
course.
age, do you get
What is age? It's just a number.
its number?
Yeah.
With experience rather.
Yes.
Like with experience, do you think like the fear goes down, or you kind of take an approach ki
You know,
Oh,
one
fuck it,
common
fuck the
factor
world
between
types.
all five of us in this car is we don't understand fear.
Ah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing what we are doing.
That is very true.
Yeah, so what is fear?
I mean, we understand, but we don't know
We
what
don't
to
give
do.
it much importance.
What is fear?
The first question I have was to all of you. You can decide ki uttar debe and who will continue from there. Is how did you guys form the band? I know it's in the college 93, 95, whatever. I could read a little bit about you guys.
Yeah.
But how did you identify যে এই চারজন মিলে তোমরা করবে?
So I guess I'll go on this. Actually, Easy Rider started in 95.
No, 94.
94,
Late
95.
93,
Yeah,
94.
When me and our previous original bass player Bumba, we met at Jadavpur University, where I was playing at the college fest guitar. So we found connection with music we listened to, which was a lot of Grateful Dead, and a lot of Jimi Hendrix and Pink Floyd, and that kind of thing. ছোটবেলা তখনকে আর কি মানে we were crazy about music and wanted to do this. কিন্তু একটা what we found common ground is that we didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. মানে সবাই একই গান বাজায়, এখনো অ্যাকচুয়ালি সবাই একই গান বাজায়। ইংরেজি গান বলতে সবাই এখনো সেই হোটেল ক্যালিফোর্নিয়ায় শোনে, মানে which is okay, but মানে আমরা কোনোদিন সেটা করতে চাইনি আর which was a sort of anomaly at that point of time, যখন এত গ্লোবালাইজেশন ছিল না, কিছুই ছিল না, ইউটিউবও ছিল না, গুগলও ছিল না। সো বাট আমাদের মনে হয়েছিল যে নিজেদের একটা নিজস্বতা থাকা উচিত। So that was the cornerstone, and whatever the lineup changes have happened, we were active from 94 to around 98. Then
With the
we
same group
broke
of
up.
No,
the
no,
original team.
No, we had a number of
Changes.
people, changes. In fact, one of our vocalists was Shetu, who is Amir Khan's cinematographer, who's done all this Tare Zameen Par and all these films. Shetu, he's a good friend. He's still in touch. So we've had various lineup changes, but the core thing has been always me writing the songs and the musicians sort of giving it their shape.
So in terms of the original band members, and is it you who's the only one now? I mean,
Yes, I am the only one. Last of the Mohicans left.
From the first lineup, yes.
Yes.
But how did all of you join in? I mean, what's the time when Orko you joined in?
So it came in Easy Riders came about in a bit of a roundabout manner, because when this Jadavpur University meeting that Shumit is talking about is also where I actually saw him and Rahul play together, right? So I was still in school at that point of time. The next year I joined college, and the very first band I had ever was with Rahul and Shumit in a band called Sweet Leaf. Again, once again, from the very beginning, I played in a band which played an all original set. So we really never had any idea of playing a lot of covers music, and ওই রুটটা আমরা কেউই সেরকম ভাবে নিইনি as such. So that band happened for a while, and then I joined Easy Riders, and that was the lineup before we broke up in 98. I joined in 96, 97, I would say. And that was basically me, Shumit, Bumba, Shomojit Datto on bass, his brother Shotrujit Shubho on guitars, and Doipayon playing percussions and vocals. So that lineup of Easy Riders was the last one before we called it quits in 98.
Yeah, you played your last gig at Garden Cafe at
And
Maxwell.
Maxwell. Yeah, we had a good that 1.5 year run was a good run. We made some demos. Kochuda came on board to do things, produce stuff for us, and it was a good time before the band very nicely broke up again in 98. So the next time we actually got together was for only one gig in 2018, like solid 20 years. No, machkhane kichu hoyni as such. Shumit was doing Summit at
98 থেকে আবার
2018 মানে তাও that was only for one gig and for like the reunion lasted about a month basically.
And why was that? I mean, what brought that 2018 gig together?
So again, অনেক পুরনো ইতিহাস বলতে হবে. So after Easy Riders, I joined Orient Express, Kochuda band playing Latin music at some place else. We were the second band to start after Hip Pocket in at some place else, and Bumpy was the bassist. So,
Right.
So I met Bumpy like there.
And this is 2018.
This
when-
is
No,
this is
1999,
98. We are still in 98.
Acha, okay.
And then I played with Orient Express for 2 years, 2000, and then 2000 I sort of gave up music and I became a full-time journalist and I shifted to Delhi.
Acha.
So আমি দিল্লিতে ছিলাম 4 বছর, বোম্বেতে ছিলাম 11 বছর। তারপর 2015তে আমি আবার কলকাতা ফিরে আসি। কিন্তু তার আগে এর মাঝখানে I had a band in Bombay called Summit Attempt,
Acha.
which was basically the Easy Rider songs plus whatever songs I wrote later. And in that band, Bumpy was there and Doipan from the original lineup of Easy Riders.
Acha.
And
They were
Orient
there. And
Express.
they were in Kolkata and I was in Bombay and we used to play
literally fly
gigs.
down to Mumbai
Yes.
for gigs.
Acha.
Like, that
They
was
used to come
insane.
down and we used to practice one day in a jam pad and next day was the gig.
Acha.
So that
Interesting.
was also good fun.
Great fun.
Well, great passion, man. I mean,
Yeah, so and then in 2018
Briefly for
we
Yeah.
met for another gig, reunion gig, and then we again sort of went our separate ways. And then in 2022 we realized like we're getting old, we have to do something. So we got back together again, and Bumpy has joined recently. Bumpy and Promit have joined recently, but I've always played music with Bumpy. So with Orient Express,
we always collaborated.
with Summit Attempt, and now
Orient
with
Express's
Easy.
first album has both of us.
Right, right.
Summit Attempt we record. I remember that underground studio Daman Sud band recording at
Yeah.
night.
Acha.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
We had a lot
So,
of
so the music has always been there,
Yeah.
even though we have not been together as a band. The music has always happened, and now we find ourselves back where it all began, sort of.
There is one more thing. You know, the one common cement, you know, like emotionally or psychologically for the three of us is actually Amida and Kochuda.
Absolutely.
yeah that is the that is where
That's one common thing.
Yeah.
Because we come from the Dotto Brothers School of
legacy. That is the school of
so
education.
that is another
That
thing
is where we
works as a
met.
cohesive force.
Yeah. From 1995 for
Yeah.
these guys it was a lot longer. 94 for them. 95 to 98. Every Sunday for us was dedicated
Sunday,
to
Wednesday,
mainly the every day.
মানে আমরা অমিত দা কচুদার বাড়িতে বড়
বাড়িতেই বড় হয়েছি হ্যাঁ
আচ্ছা।
বুঝতে পেরেছো তো হ্যাঁ মানে for the three of us মানে it's an overlapping circle of say maybe 15 people but that is where it's at like
Yes,
people in
yeah,
Orient
yeah.
Express people that don't play now that live so there's another friend of ours আমরা এই পাড়াটা ক্রস করছি বলে মনে পড়লো which is Shayantan Choto Bumba he has
yes.
you know he's my childhood friend from this neighborhood he's you know sort of been there all along arki so we all
Right.
grew up with Amiddas and Kochudas music and mentorship and guidance and you know everything arki mane if the two of them were not there I don't think a lot of us would have met actually
Absolutely.
because the drummers would do the class in the ground floor and the guitar players and the bass players and everything else was upstairs and that in that
and
magical
that would spill over. You guys would come.
yeah and it would
We would also.
in Amiddas class it would just become till like 4 obdi hoto arki khawa dawa bole so that's where it's at man you know
So
So
how
it's-
did Promit get in? I mean, how did you get this kid involved?
Promit
How did you
This is an
corrupt this
interesting
guy?
story,
Yeah.
and I would,
I met you a while ago actually.
No,
Around-
Promit's been on my social media for a while. I think Bumpy knew him from before, not Sumit so much. But we actually connected. I connected with Promit last year, you know, over the whole Arjikor protest situation. Promit was there doing stuff with me and Nobarun, Nobby all the time. We were going from one place to the other and singing and just being around and all of that. So I thought that we were looking for another guitar player for the band. It was the three of us for a while last year, but we were always sort of looking. So I asked Promit if he would be interested, and also Shumit, and that's how it came about. Totodine, Bumpy had already so Bumpy joined late last year in October.
Right.
Yeah.
But how did you decide যে মানে the choice of language, right? যে কলকাতায় বসে সেই সময় তো অনেকগুলো বাংলা ব্যান্ডও খুব পপুলার হচ্ছিল, তো why did you choose English? I mean, was it more, didn't you think about a commercial success or a wider
ওটা যদি একটু ভাবতাম,
বুদ্ধি ছিল না, মানে কমার্শিয়াল স্যাভি তো জিরো, সো টিপিক্যাল বাঙালি কিডস তো
ironically not doing it in Bangla.
But মানে আসলে মানে Easy Riders is basically my music because by default I am the songwriter. এবং আমি কোনোদিন বাংলায় লিখিনি আর কি, মানে
তো তোমার মানে স্লাইটলি একটু ডায়াগ্রাস করছি, মানে you studied in Kolkata, right? School and college সব এটা। আচ্ছা।
আমি ভারতীয় বিদ্যাভবনে পড়তাম স্কুলে, আর প্রেসিডেন্সি।
আচ্ছা। গুড। So you used to think in English, right? সেই জন্য কি তুমি ইংলিশ?
হ্যাঁ, আমার তো তাই মনে হয়। আমার গল্প বই যদিও প্রচুর বাংলা বইও পড়েছি, মানে আমার মেয়ের থেকে তো ডেফিনেটলি আমি বেটার বাংলা জানি, কিন্তু ইংরেজি গান, মানে গান বাজনাটা ইংরেজি দিয়েই, মানে ওখান দিয়ে ঢুকেছি। পরে এসে ওই দিক দিয়ে ঘুরে শাক্তি ফাক্তি ঘুরে ইন্ডিয়ান মিউজিকের কাছে কিছুটা যাওয়ার চেষ্টা করেছি, বাট
শাক্তি তো মোর অফ মানে
বাট রুটটা ছিল স্টাইল, মানে ইউ ক্যান কল ইট, মানে উই আর প্রোডাক্টস অফ গ্লোবালাইজেশন। ঠিক তখনই দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড ওয়াজ ওপেনিং আপ, cassettes were coming in, that kind of thing.
Was this the same time when Shiva, Fifth Dimension
yes,
was
yes,
also
yes,
those
I remember like Shiva, Fifth Dimension, they were the ones. Amara যখন স্কুলে 10, 11, 12
my first concert I ever saw was in Kolkata in St. Lawrence
School,
Pop Secret, Shiva and Krosswindz.
We all saw that gig somehow. We were all there at that gig.
And I was like, wow, what is this? So
I remember Shivar একটা মিউজিক ভিডিও তখন বেরিয়েছিল ট্রাকের মধ্যে। I was like a big thing for me.
Amita was there.
Beautiful song.
So that St. Lawrence gig, no, I think even Bumpy was there. I thought for sure was there. মানে of course, মানে ওটা একটা অদ্ভুত শো
I
ছিল।
remember Neil played Joy's telly, white telly, because he broke his string.
তখন কোনো স্টেজ ছিল না, হ্যাঁ, দুটো ট্রাক নিয়ে এসে জয়েন করে একটা স্টেজ বানিয়ে, that's the first time
there were a lot of concerts happening at that
right,
time.
right.
A lot of rock concerts.
স্কুলগুলোতেও কিন্তু খুব ভালো কনসার্টস হতো।
OAT তে রেগুলার কনসার্টস হতো।
আমার মনে আছে আমাদের স্কুলে মানে স্পিক ব্যাকি was also very very active that time. খুব মানে এক্সপোজারটা of live music খুব ভালো পেতাম। সরি, আমরা ডাইগ্রেস করলাম। We were talking about the choice of language in, why you guys decided to do it in English, the band.
So the writing has always been in English for me. So মানে আমি ইংরেজি খবরের কাগজে কাজ করেছি, মানে so English has been the lingua franca.
But তুমি যখন তুমি গান লিখছো বা তোমরা যখন ব্যান্ড ফর্ম করছো, who is your typical audience? I mean, do you have that in mind, or you don't even care about it?
we never really thought about it.
We never really cared, and that is the problem. So, but in a way, it's a cliche, but it's honesty basically. যেটা মানে ক্যালকুলেট করে করাচ্ছে, যেটা ন্যাচারালি আসছে সেটাই করেছি আর কি।
Right. But you guys never really focused on marketing yourself aggressively. I mean, ধরো English bands যেমন Indiscreet, recent one, they have also done very well commercially as well, right? So what, মানে as a band, what is your vision? মানে what is it that you want to, মানে সবার তো চারজনের তোমাদের aspiration তো আলাদা হতে পারে, but as a band, where do you come together with the vision of the band? Where next, and how to take it forward?
We want to keep writing songs and recording them and releasing them and playing wherever people want us to. That is the...
Even if they don't want us to.
So
even if they don't want us to play, we'll keep releasing music. So Actually, মানে এটা সত্যি খুব ক্লিশে লাগছে কিন্তু but we are only in it for the music.
Yeah.
Which is good because that is a very liberating thought and thinking, because moment you do that, your focus is totally in what you enjoy, which is music in your case, right? And taking out all the, instead of making it as a product which has a market, you're doing it for the soul, and that is a great way for people to come together and listen to what you're doing.
Market again, Kochuda is to say that there's going to be a fork in the road. One is going to be creative music and the other is going to be commercial music, and they're both all right. But there are some things you will get in commercial music that will possibly not derive in creative music, and also some things you will derive in creative music that you will not derive in commercial music. So consciously we have taken the other route.
So Moinak, you are the only member in this band who I know full time into music.
Yeah.
That's your profession, right?
Bumpy is the busiest bass player this side of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Come on, yeah. According to them, I have 436 and a half gigs every day.
Oh,
And the half gig is the Easy Riders.
Easy Riders. At any point of time through the decades,
half the gig is for Easy Riders.
Bumpy has been.
Can I request you to sponsor my podcast for the next episode? Since you're so busy.
See, that's what I was coming to. At any point of time through these 3 decades that we've known each other,
$100 would be good enough for me.
Bumpy has been in 15 bands, give or take, at the same time.
So
at the same time,
my record,
Series.
that I've played with 11 bands in the same month. For at least 8 months, around between 2006 and 2011.
But I must say this about
I don't know
Bumpy.
how I did that.
I must say this about Bumpy. He does not play like a sessions player. So sessions players
That
have
is now.
What is a sessions play? I'm
sessions player.
not very clear.
There is no commitment in the
Mane, there are great musicians who are hired guns basically, who play for the big names. Like say somebody like Steve Lukather. He's played with everybody from Michael Jackson to Lionel Richie, but he's a killer guitar player himself. So these sessions players have always played in popular music across bands and artists. So everyone sort of they play as the music demands. Steve Lukather playing the solo from Hello, Lionel Richie, which is most famous song, is very different from the Steve Lukather, as a guitar player himself in Toto for his band, for example. But with Bumpy, I've seen that he has his sound, whichever outfit he plays in, and I'm always attracted to uniqueness rather than.
So, the question I had for you, হচ্ছে যে বাকিরা সবাই তো কাজ করছে, তুমি যখন ফার্স্ট ডিসাইড করলে যে এটাকেই ফুল টাইম করবো, and it's a very uncertain profession, right? Not a very conventional, especially assuming that you're coming in from a middle class Bangali poribar, right?
It is.
So sekhane, did you face any resistance?
Of course.
With yourself
The first few
and
years
with the
of my
family.
life was incredible. আমি সব জায়গায় যাওয়া বন্ধ করে দিয়েছিলাম because সবাই আমার বলতো গান বাজনা করছিস আর কি করছিস?
হ্যাঁ, এটা common.
পারি না যে দিনে 32 ঘন্টা হলে ভালো হয়। Then came to a point maybe 10 years later where I've stopped socializing because I don't want to deal with that anymore. And then people start telling my parents, আরে ওকে তো খবরে কাগজে দেখলাম, টিভিতে দেখলাম, because তখন সেটাই সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া ছিল।
But that is where the fucking the issue with আমাদের society বলো যে only when there is a recognition.
I understand it.
But you can't really blame them, no?
Exactly. We all come from a middle class background.
Everybody wants a piece of art. Nobody wants an artist.
Yes.
And there are very few exceptions.
Very well said.
Very few exceptions actually.
Everybody wants a piece of art, but
Yeah. ধরো
Nobody
এই
wants
যে
that.
ইংরেজি গান কেন, হ্যাঁ, তার কারণ হচ্ছে আমার বাড়ি হচ্ছে, আমি অরিজিনালি আমরা নর্থ ক্যালকাটার লোক,
হ্যাঁ,
সো আমাদের বাড়িতে মোচ্ছব মানে হচ্ছে আমার এক কোনো জ্যাঠা বসে পিয়ানো বাজছে গাইছে,
আচ্ছা
তো এরকম কিছু একটা, সো we are by products of the Babu culture.
আচ্ছা
So
Absolutely.
for us English is a language,
হ্যাঁ,
like খুব একটা এলিয়েন নয়,
Right.
especially South Calcutta.
খুব একটা alien, it's not alien, it's never been
It has never
alien.
been.
right.
The most.
No, so I'll if I may say that regarding music and English as a, I understand that it's a topic that is very sort of in relevance today, especially with the kind of places that Bangla music has come to in terms of other situations. I think, in the 90s when we were coming up, tumi Bangla music er kotha jegulo bolchile, Bumpy has been, he's like a founder member of Ovilasha. He's been there. I
played in all the
bands. I have played for Chandravindhu back in the day. যাই হোক সেটা নয়, কিন্তু the music we were listening to or even the upbringing we had at home, English wasn't an alien concept. We were reading the Tintin and Asterix books and looking at sections on TV where things were happening in English, listening to English news.
You remember
And
Russian magazines?
the ones in translation that we would get. And then by the time we were in our teens, we started listening to, like, from the Police to Pink Floyd to Hendrix a little later. So that, I think that I'm not saying that era had a specific effect on English music as being the call or the language or whatever. But আমার কাছে না এই বাংলা ইংরেজি ডিভাইডটাই একটু ফানি আর কি, because it is all rock and roll, man, at the end of the day. It's music. What language you choose to express yourself in is a very sort of, I think it's a natural flow. ওই যে যেটা সুমিত বললো, আমরা কোনদিন বাংলা গান লেখার চেষ্টাই করিনি, and so that's how it's rolled,
Right.
So that's it.
Strangely enough, for me, I write in 3 languages.
You can do anything.
I write in English, Bangla, Hindi, and I'm writing instrumental music forever.
আচ্ছা, তো প্রমিত তোমার জার্নিটা বলো, why you বাজানো কবে থেকে শুরু করলে মিউজিক, why
Promit is also a full time musician.
By the way, ও মিউজিক টিচার, কিন্তু ও আমার ফাটিয়ে is
Actually all three of them are Orko's just recently started his journalism, got back to all three of them are full time musicians, if you really
Right.
look at it that way.
তো প্রমিত তোমার জার্নিটা কি?
আমার জার্নিটা
গিটার কবে থেকে শুরু হলো?
অন্যরকম, ওটাই। I started off as a student of Hindustani classical music.
আচ্ছা,
So
এটা কি ভোকাল?
vocal. So as I said, I'm a kid in the band. Yes, I have seen a lot of people trying their best to hold their saz, and then failing miserably. So আমি অনেক রকমের আর কি স্টুডেন্টদের মধ্যে দিয়ে পাস করে গেছি, বাট সামহাউ ফ্রম 97 till 2004 যেটা মধ্যবিত্ত সেম থিং, ওই ক্লাস 10 আছে, এবার তো পড়াশোনাটা করতে হবে, আর কত গান বাজনা হবে। থ্যাঙ্কফুলি তখন ওই মোবাইল এরাটা আসেনি, it was a different era back then, 90s.
Correct.
So I'm a proper 90s kid,
Right.
born and brought up in 90s. I'm a 91 born, so আমি একদম 91 থেকেই আর কি একদম proper 90s. So I started off ওই 7 বছর শিখলাম ইস্টার্ন ক্লাসিক্যাল, হিন্দুস্তানি ক্লাসিক্যাল। I learned from Shruti Nandan, প্রণীতয় চক্রবর্তী যে স্কুল।
Okay.
So then একটা শর্ট ব্রেক হলো, তারপরে যা হয় এবার স্কুল কলেজ লাইফে যা মেন, এটা একটা বলতেই হয়, heartbreak gives you the best kind of inspiration
For playing the blues.
So then I made these some kind of madcaps. They had no other option but to join our school. They came from MP Billa Future Foundation, and I used to study at South End School, which was very less popular school, but it had a good track record back then.
Right.
So there I found this strange group of people who are basically 90% mentally problematic people. Okay, there was this guy Shamrat Dash. He's hanging by the one of our corridors, and I'm seeing him for the first time. Hey, আমি এমপি বিল্লা থেকে এসেছি, আমি বাড়ি ভালো লাগে না, আমি ছেড়ে দিয়েছি। আমি বললাম বাড়ি ছেড়ে দিচ্ছিস তো স্কুলে এলি কি করে? আমি 3 তলায় থাকতাম, 1 তলায় চলে এসেছি আর ভালো লাগছে না, আমার কাছে থাকি। So these were the kind of people. So there was another drummer guy, Abhijit Sarkar. He used to write wonderful songs in like both languages, English and Bengali. So he's a big inspiration to me again. He was from Future Foundation, and he was like, everyone got hooked onto him because he spoke so well. So these were my heroes actually, first heroes. My exposure to music was a little different. আমার বাড়িতে শ্যামল মিত্র চলছে, আমার বাড়িতে সুমন চলছে, আমার বাড়িতে অঞ্জন দত্ত চলছে। আমার কাকা মহিনের ঘোড়াগুলির বিরাট বড় ভক্ত ছিল। আমার এখনো মনে আছে তপু কাকু বলে একজন ছিল, অমিত বিক্রম দাস, তিনি 3টে ক্যাসেট দিয়েছিলেন আমাকে ওই মহিনের ঘোড়াগুলির। And that was the first time I experienced euphoria, what it is. I had heard nothing like that. I had heard nothing like that. And then my like father and my uncle told যে এটা তো কিছুই শুনছিস না, 78 77 এর যে রেকর্ড 3টে ছিল সেটা শুনলে কি বলবি। তারপরে ওই সময় ব্যান্ড ছিল আরো কত, দিলীপ বালাকৃষ্ণন is the name that I heard from my father first. So as Shumita was saying, and Lodora was saying, and Mampida was saying, okay, so it's always been in the like psyche of Bongs. It's never been a very tough bridge to cross. It has always come to us naturally. We বলে না বাঙালিরা ব্লটিং পেপার, আমরা অ্যাকচুয়ালি ব্লটিং পেপার। আমরা ল্যাটিন শুনছি, আমরা আফ্রো মিউজিক শুনছি,
মানে আমাদের
খুব এক্লেকটিক একটা সোর্স অফ।
there's an interesting observation I have on this one. Sorry, আমি মাঝখানে
না
এই বাংলা ব্যান্ড গুলো 90s এর আমরা কথা বলি, এখানে বাজাতে কারা গেছিল? তারা তো সবাই ইংরেজি ব্যান্ডেই বাজাতো, সুভাষদা থেকে শুরু করে everybody else. মানে there were songwriters that came up like Shiduda, like Kuttida, like you know, and of course মানে see মানে in the 90s no মানে for us যখন মহিন বছর কুড়ি পরে বার করলো, তার ঠিক 1 বছর পরে Krosswindz একটা বাংলা অ্যালবাম বার করেছিল called পথ গেছে বেঁকে। তো এই দুটো আর্টিস্টকে ধরে আমরা বাংলা মিউজিকটাও ফাটিয়ে ওইভাবেই শুনতাম, কেন তারা তো এমনিতেই আমাদের they were our first like the batch of first heroes with Amita and Kochuda.
মানে the whole thing is that এই যে লিরিক্স গুলো ছিল বাংলায় বলো বা তখন যে ইংরেজি ব্যান্ড গুলো আসছিল যারা অরিজিনাল বাজাচ্ছিলেন, they are very মানে লিরিক্স ড্রিভেন, রাইট?
I think music from Kolkata has always been lyric driven.
Krosswindz also had that balance of music
and lyrics.
Krosswindz
High
that part
made high
really cool for us.
Yeah, man, that is the Bangla part. And high the first band to really influence us from Kolkata with words and music together was High. When you see High, the art that was there in High albums, when you see what Lou used to create for the band, and that was a huge thing for me, man. When I got introduced to the idea of High being this band from Calcutta writing its own music back in the 70s, at Tartik Pore Lewilted art was something that I discovered. It blew my mind. It was something else in terms of being trippy.
Right.
And you know, so those bands were there. There was Great Society, of course, from Shillong, Lou and AJ and Rudy and all these guys doing what they were doing. So they were all আমাদের কাছে না ওই বাংলা ইংরেজির এই differentiation it was music, you know, because নীলদা and বনিদা
আমি বাংলা মিউজিক কোনোদিনই শুনিনি, আমি খুবই কম শুনেছি, ওরা বাড়িতে শুনেছে, কিন্তু মানে
এই যে টিপিক্যাল রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীত মানে এটা কি হচ্ছে মানে
সেটা তো ছিল
এইটাকে মানে
সকালবেলা শুরু করতে রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীত গাওয়া, ভোরবেলা আর রাত্রিবেলা শেষ করতে, তো ওই সেই দিয়েই আমরা বড় হয়েছি। তার মধ্যে আর কি ওই
মানে সাবকনশিয়াসে সবসময়
কি করে হয়েছে ঠিক বলতে পারবো না, হয়েছে মানে আমার মাও she was a classical singer in Bumpy's family also. He grew up with a lot of Indian classical music. Promit to trained.
আমার মা আমাকে প্রথম
so I don't think we really consciously thought of stepping out or anything or as a rebellion যে ইংরেজিতে গান করা এরকম কিছু ছিল না আর কি। It was a natural flow of things.
তো এখান থেকে আমি আসবো তোমাদের যে লিরিক্স, ওকে, there are three songs which I really, when the lyrics really hit me. I mean, one is Choice, right?
Okay.
It's a simple song. The third one is Wherever We Are. What's that? Even when we are gone. You know, it's so relevant, and especially in the times that we are facing now with this war and everything. The last line time, whenever we are gone, like the battle goes on or something like that, right? I mean, I forget the lyrics. So it's somewhere.
I think
It's here. Right.
They will still be burning up the earth.
Right. I mean, it hit me, very hard. Like, when I'm listening to it now, it's so relevant at the time. But what made you, like, choose these subjects to write? I mean, Choice is also very deep. I mean,
Choice was
Choto Gaan ke look
written
deep.
by Bumba, our original bassist.
Shomojit Dutta.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, so that's his song. Even When We Are Gone was written actually last year.
That's all.
Yeah, it's the newest song. So it's obviously inspired by the world around us, what is going on. The sort of fanaticism. I mean, today the United States has bombed Iran overnight. So,
Right now.
And also, there is a lot of polarization that is
totally.
happening, especially in India. When
Everywhere,
polarization comes
It's everywhere. It's not just in
everywhere.
India.
It's in India, America, Europe, everywhere.
আমি মানে ইন্ডিয়ান কনটেক্সটে এই জন্য বলবো যে লাস্ট অ্যাটলিস্ট 7-8 বছরে এত বেশি করে বুঝিয়ে দেওয়া হচ্ছে যে হু ইউ আর এন্ড ইওর রিলিজিয়াস আইডেন্টিটি ইজ মোর ইম্পর্টেন্ট দেন ইওর পার্সোনাল আইডেন্টিটি। আই মিন হাউ ডাজ ইট ম্যাটার what faith you practice, it doesn't matter, right? But এই যে পোলারাইজেশনটা এত ডিপলি আমি এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করিনি, অনেক বছর পর আমি আবার ইন্ডিয়াতে এসে এই জিনিসটা আমি ঠিক কখনো সহ্য করতে পারছি না আর কি।
Absolutely, and like.
And when I say this, why I'm saying this হচ্ছে আমার অনেক বন্ধু বান্ধব আছে যারা আমারই মতো ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডের, and they are also taking part in these conversations and taking sides.
Absolutely.
And they are not like, I mean, they are like well educated when it's a rational mind.
Absolutely.
So সেটাই আমার খুব I sometimes feel very scared that where will it lead to.
It is very scary. It is actually very scary because the bigots are people we went to school with actually.
Right.
So that is very
true.
scary.
Yeah, that's true.
Suddenly you see a whole different side to people. So that is what Even When We Are Gone is completely about.
So how do you choose, what you want to write, what songs you want to, as originals you want to play? এর যে নতুন একটা যখন তোমরা গান ভাবো, তার ক্রিয়েটিভ প্রসেসটা কিভাবে হয়? I mean, does it happen while you're shitting, or is it like you go out in an expensive resort?
Sometimes you wake up with a song fully formed.
The song chooses you.
The song really chooses you. It's like Harry Potter, the wand chooses the wizard. The wizard doesn't choose the wand. It's like that. The song chooses you. It just comes. It's like.
But সেখানে তোমরা how do you all ধরো তুমি একটা গান ভাবলে বা লিখলে, the others may have their own thought. Maybe like Promit says, I don't like it. Okay,
they don't have the option.
But farewell, I am not 30 years ago. I don't remember hearing any composition of Bhattacharya which is actually bad. Or we never rejected any song.
Yeah.
No, but first of all, in Easy Riders, I think he does. He does. It's সেটা তো.
Is it because of his legacy that is the?
No, I think we understand.
The founding member now.
I think it is. All of them are mature enough to know when a song is working.
Yes.
Or not.
It is not.
But when do you say working? What's the definition of working?
When the song is fully formed?
No, working in the sense that, the audience said it khabe.
No.
Or like, you guys all feel it together.
See, I'm very apologetic while I say this, and it's a bit, I think it's still, we still live in a fool's paradise. But whatever it is, we have never really thought of making any piece of music that doesn't entertain us first. It has to be great for us to play, right, as a song, with words, without words. Incidentally, we also play a lot of instrumentals. That is a different side of Easy Riders completely. So the other thing,
like when I was listening to Choice, there's a huge part. It's an 8.5 minute video
Yeah.
And the song is actually 4 minutes, and there's a
Less
huge
than
amount.
that.
Four lines.
There are 4 lines in the song.
Right. So the instrumental was something. The lead that you play, I was really fascinated. I'm সকালবেলা শুনছিলাম।
Right.
So from the commerce point of view, every producer would recommend a 4-minute song.
And,
Don't go beyond
and
that.
get rid of the solo. So that's so let a little bit about
Sorry.
a little bit about the influences that shape that kind of thinking in terms of the creative process. So we call ourselves a jam band.
Jam band মানে কি?
Jam bands are basically bands
For
that,
example, the Grateful Dead.
yeah, I mean, but not just Grateful Dead. I
You know
think
how they would travel from one song to another while
Yes.
they were doing a live set. It's just being in the moment.
Yes.
দেখো আমাদের এখানে না একটা বিজ্ঞাপন বা সিনেমার মতো যে এই জিনিসটাই তৈরি করতে হবে এটা কেউ মাথা দিবে দেয়নি।
বাট তোমরা যখন মানে একটা ধরনের একটা গিগ করছো, সরি, তখন তোমরা কি একটা লাইন আপ করে যাও বা
কিন্তু এই গানগুলো 30 বছর ধরে তৈরি হয়েছে।
আচ্ছা,
মানে
খুব ইমপ্রম্পটু হয় নাকি মানে?
no, you are you talking about a set list?
হ্যাঁ, set list, হ্যাঁ।
So there is a set list of
মানে
songs.
even
So
when we
I
have gone
was
এক বছর
no, I was coming to the fact that jam bands bolte je amra dead বা fish শুধু বুঝি, I think that's not the only idea of jam. You know, Indian classical music is jam based.
Exactly.
Number 2 is I think a lot of the jazz fusion and jazz we listen to is jams basically.
Correct.
So that also shaped and had influenced us as when we were younger. It keeps. He's always been an inspiration. You know, if you go to a Shakti gig or even a McLaughlin 4-dimension gig, it's all about improvisation, improvised music.
Right.
So Easy Riders has that as one of the bases in terms of making music. So তুমি যে বলছো যে গান কখন তৈরি হয়ে যায়, we tend to also play the songs out a lot before we actually decide that this is done. Okay, this song is complete. So that comes from the process of playing together, which is a jam. So just technically to explain that part, you know.
মানে take me through that journey যে ধরো একটা লিরিক্স তোমরা লিখলে, ঠিক আছে, let's say XYZ, right, and there's a song, okay, in lyrics, ওইখান থেকে যে formation of the composition বা the you know the music, the whole song, মানে আমি হয়তো musically বা technically বলতে পারছি না, but the whole thing is that the whole journey of from a lyrics to the actual, you know, the song with
Finished
its
song.
finished song, ওর processটা কিভাবে হয়, মানে because you're 4 of you, right?
So how it happens is, it's usually I bring the song, whatever shape I have in mind, and I'll play it, and then these guys they do their own thing, and we play the song over and over again till it sounds right to us. I think that is the process.
But তোমরা কি মানে ধরো you're playing the guitar, Moinak is playing the bass, and you know Promit is playing, Orko is playing, মানে এই যে কে কিভাবে বাজাবে এটা কি নিজেরা impromptu আর কি হয়?
I think they're all adults and they can.
মানে nobody writes the music and then
Sometimes you might. Sometimes you might.
A lightness of imagination, I think that's what we
See, I think most of the
Very
songs
well
we've
said,
made, even previously in our earlier years also, it always started with a melody in mind.
Yes.
Some idea.
Melody and groove in mind, and some idea of where that melody is wanting to go. The melody has its own life, right? And then the words came. It has not been যে lyrically ও কিছু শুরু হয়নি, হয়েছে, but আগে আমরা বাজিয়ে নিয়েছি আর কি ব্যাপারটা, mostly 99% of the cases it's been the melody first, and then you jam out and then it becomes a song.
Right.
So, and yeah, I mean, we've always had our own complete freedom in terms of where the music is going to go, supporting that song. So till we are all on the same page and in a sort of a democratically elected way that this is the direction, we keep playing basically. We tend to keep playing a lot.
And is there a like a কি বলে তোমাদের একটা রিহার্সাল রুটিন আছে যে প্রত্যেক সপ্তাহে এতদিন এইখানে তোমাদের রিহার্সাল, and how do you manage that with work and মানে তোমরা যারা ফুল টাইম কাজ করছো?
এই যে তোমার ইন্টারভিউটা শেষ হয়ে আমাদের একটা রিহার্সালের প্ল্যান আছে।
আচ্ছা,
so we try to rehearse on Sundays, and when we have gigs we rehearse more.
আচ্ছা I'll just come to the lead into a section in my podcast which I like to talk about, which is mental health, which is often a very ignored part in most of our lives, even today, right? So আমার একটা গান তোমাদের যেটা শুনেছিলাম Lonely Whale. I found there was a little bit of a emotional loneliness, there's a disturbance in that song. I mean, maybe is that, I mean, how do you as musicians, give importance to mental health? I mean, are there songs that you have written or music you have written that has come through your mental health crisis?
Okay, so a little bit of history. So like I said, I gave up playing music after Orient Express. আমি দিল্লি চলে গেছিলাম ছিলাম ওখানে তো at that time I stopped playing music and I became a different person and that person was not nice. So then I realized it was actually on a trek to whatever. It was on a trek.
Yeah, you can say. I mean,
well, it was on a trek to. I'm forgetting the place now because I think I'm getting Alzheimer's.
You just getting old.
The highest Kedar? Which is the highest Kedar?
Whatever it is, yeah. Let it be the highest Kedar.
The highest of the Kedar.
The highest of the Kedar.
Highest of the Kedar.
Chandrashila.
Chandrashila. I was on a trek to Chandrashila and friends, and it was like almost like a revelation. It's like I realized that I needed to play music to save my soul. So that's how I got.
But why did you leave music, or was that whole period of hibernation?
Because I had to make a living.
No, why I'm asking, why I'm asked this, because I relate to it, and I'll tell you an incident in my life, which is very similar to yours. For 18 years, I mean, when I was working in Mumbai for PwC, and I was doing a project in Navashiva Port, catamaran kore jete hoto, elephant pechone. So then I left the job for 4 months and I was writing full time for Madhur Bhandarkar. Jailer first draft ওই টিমে ছিলাম, and then আমি দেখলাম যে টাকা পয়সা শেষ হয়ে গেছে, I cannot struggle, I cannot write in an empty stomach or can't struggle that way. So then I left India and that's where I took a job and went overseas, and I decided कि আমি 20-21 বছর মানে যতক্ষণই সময় লাগে যেখানে আমি financially at least free থাকবো, as a middle class life, not a life of luxury, যেখানে এসে আমি আমার মানে I can ask my mind what I want to do, ততক্ষণ আমি একটা ওয়ার্ডও লিখবো না. And that period of 20 years was a very difficult phase of my life. And when you said that, it cannot kind of hit me. And I just wanted to share this. Sorry.
It is absolutely pertinent and relevant, and it's exactly the same. But the problem, is something like writing or even art, although Orko is better qualified to talk about something like that. I think music is the most merciless in the sense that you can return to writing, you can return to art. Maybe, I don't know, Orko will...
Very difficult, but returning to music is
the toughest. The toughest. Because if you do not practice for a week, you are set back by 2 months. So it's like, music is a very cruel mistress. I always say that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because if you don't do that, it's just going to leave.
So I didn't play guitar. I didn't touch my guitar for like 4 years. I was in Delhi, almost 4 years. And then when I picked it up, I was back when I started. It was like that. So it's like it's an addiction actually. You have to keep doing it over and over again every day to sort of be where you are. Forget getting better.
Right. So you kind of held yourself. I don't know. Was it anger? Was it frustration? Or was it? Or you just didn't even realize?
I had become an alcoholic. I was drinking every night, and I realized I was a wreck. So that's why I took the trek, and then it was like a flash of lighting. Like you're an idiot. You're not doing this. Like that kind of thing. Like that inner voice that comes. So Easy Rider is for the mental health
of Easy
all of
Riders.
us.
Easy Riders
You know,
exists because of the mental
yes,
health of Easy
yes.
Riders. Okay.
Very good.
It's
We are
very
doing this for our mental health.
It's a
Yeah.
bubble
well
and
said.
we love it.
Yeah.
No, it's a very liberating thing, and that is where you take off all the fucking pressure.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
doing art for art's sake,
Yeah.
and you're loving it.
I
এর
won't
থেকে
even-
বড় কিছু তো হয় না মানে লাইফে।
I won't even go that far into like deep philosophy of art for art's sake as a thing. I think it's very important for me to see these guys at least once a week and play music. You know, we've
Kya
been
baat.
friends for so long.
Kya baat, kya
It's
baat.
just a no-brainer being in the same city and not
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
That is the first part.
Yeah.
And I have literally grown up with these two guys in the band. Like I was the kid before Promit was the kid. So no, Shumit, he asked about Wales. So Wales got a different story actually,
Okay.
which I think Shumit should tell you.
So the whale, the song whale is, the idea came when I got an ebo. It's a device. It gives you infinite sustain on the guitar, like that thing that comes in the middle. So I was fiddling around with that, and to me it sounded like a whale. The whales, those whale songs there. To me it sounded like a whale. And then I read a BBC story. It was headlined "The Loneliest Whale in the World." It was about a whale the scientists had found, whose song was in a frequency different from the other whales of the sky.
Right.
So it was looking for a mate, and the headline was "Loneliest Whale in the World." So that was the genesis of the idea of this.
It was a beautiful written song. When Orko sent me the lyrics, the PDF of the lyrics, I read it and I told him it's like literature. I mean, it's poetry.
Bumpy asked me if it was about Portugal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there is
Maybe
a-
it is.
Maybe it is.
You know,
Maybe it
because in a way we are all like that lonely. We are trying to find. the
We
right
all are,
frequency.
right?
Yeah.
We all are. I mean, one of the reasons I do this podcast is also,
Absolutely.
for that.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to
I
say.
get to meet so many people. I get to, learn so much, and it also addresses a lot of my own inner
And
premonitions
you
and
don't
fear.
really need to do this.
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
Right?
Oh,
You're
I-
doing this because you want
Want
to.
to.
I want
And
to.
that is a very big.
No, I think it's both. For me, I need to. I want to. The need comes from because it's my own therapy.
Exactly.
To be honest,
There you go.
Very good.
So and sometimes what happens is not all people I make a request says yes. So it's also a way for me to keep my ego in check. I get to hear a lot of no's, but that's fine. কখনো খারাপ লাগে, but I've got a refusal, but that's fine. I said, nah, it can. I mean, yes হতে পারে, no হতে পারে. Both I have to accept. Like in business, I always say if I'm accepting profit, I have to also accept the loss, right? So সেটা. The next question which I want to ask you is, especially in times and the technology that we are in, do you feel threatened with artificial intelligence coming in?
Not at all.
Not really, no.
Not at all.
Because it's producing music, it's producing lyrics. I mean, how do you look at it? As a friend or a foe?
Well,
I think it's a tool.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool to ease jobs that you do for a living. Easy Riders is not what we do for a living.
So we
So.
Right,
After
right.
technology, we are actually going back and producing better music by using that in our post-production work.
Yeah, I
It's,
mean,
it's a great slave. I love it.
Fantastic.
But it's just a slave.
Yeah,
Very well
yeah,
said.
It is
yeah,
just a slave.
yeah. It's like
it is not more.
the question you asked me, I had asked Jethro Tull's Ian Anderson that what do you think of technology in music? It's exploding. I had interviewed him many years back, 2010 or probably earlier, 2008 or something. So he gave a very interesting answer. He said, technology will help you get a product quickly.
It's efficiency. It's a productivity
But
tool.
it will not be the best it can be.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
there you go.
I mean, it's still, if you see AI, it is still like an intern as of now,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
But the way it is going, obviously, with more data,
It is scary. It is
it's
scary.
going
It is
to.
scary.
I mean, you should be smart enough to know how to make it your slave,
That's the whole point of
rather
it all.
than fighting, because it's a reality. So সেটাই আর কি. But it's good to know that your views are very progressive and very want
You
to adapt
don't
to
really
it.
have a choice.
Yeah.
You
It
can't
is
say,
good. Because a lot of people I speak or thing is they are like there's a very Boolean answer. I don't.
See, the march of technology you can't stop.
So why fight it?
When the digital thing came, everything analog went away, right?
We are actually in a podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like in
It's going to be on your phone.
the printing press has completely changed.
Right.
It's no longer what it was. In anything, even driving, your car has rare earth minerals from China. So everything, you can't stop the march of technology.
Correct. So we're almost towards the end, and the last question which I have, and I ask this to most of my guests, is success happiness or happiness success to all of you?
I think happiness is success.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There is a Kochuda song called "Happiness is Latin."
Exactly.
Hello, that is a Samit.
There's also a Samit song called "Happiness is."
That's not a good. Yeah, that's his song.
So we stop for coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's try to this route. So great. Thank you so much, guys.
You are
We had a lot of fun. I
Thank you.
personally learned so much.
We are grateful.